work with them, and they were able to go to Multi, BI, Berbice, all the A-grade school in the region, and that's what makes us proud. From that, we decided that we're gonna focus our attention on HIV and AIDS, orphan and vulnerable children, reintegration of children and family. And now we move away from that, and we're looking at working with migrants over the past 2 years, which is a great program for us. Today we were in the community with the International Organization for Migrants, where we distributed a lot of hamper. We were able to reach with the migrants, reach with the migrants' family, reach with the migrants' children, on the way forward, what next we can do for these migrants. Because when you look in our community, yes, our community is getting diversity, and we see the needs that why we should reach out and help these migrants in our community. And so today we went into the community and we had one-on-one interaction with our migrants, and we're coming up with different initiatives so that we can able to support these migrants. And if you recognize people in our school today, the children are doing Spanish, and we have a lot of Spanish children who are attending our school in our community, which is a plus for us. Yes, we know people discriminate and violate migrants, but I want you people to understand that they're part of us. We don't see them as foreigners coming to our country, but let us see them as human beings and see how best we can come up with goals, objectives, and initiative to embrace and support the migrants that is in our country. So instead of we discriminate, let's embrace, let's show love, let's show care, let's show support. All right, it's just a human thing, and you being a part of lots of community work for the past 20 years. It's a joy that makes us happy. That's what put a smile on our face when we can put a smile on somebody else's faces. We want to say it's a great pleasure also for the past years of working in the community. It was a great pleasure also working with the Childcare and Protection Agency when they are busy, because we know we all need to collaborate. Collaboration make the dream work. Nothing beat collaboration, and we see the need, because not all the cases we can deal with. We can only deal up to a certain amount of leverage we have when it comes to children, because remember, we has a government agency in our community, the Childcare and Protection Agency, and many of you people report lots of different cases to them. And so we work hand in hand. If you look around our community presently now, you hardly see children on the street, despite school was on strike for the past weeks. You hardly see our children on the road begging and these kind of things. So we want to thumbs up the Childcare Protection Agency. We want to thumbs up United Bricklayers. We want to thumbs up Ms. Griffith and the entire team of United Bricklayers for a fantastic work well done in bringing our community to a healthy environment, to a healthy community. And we all know that it takes a family, a community to raise a child. And let's also always keep that in our mind and in our head. It takes you people also to embrace and to support. Don't discriminate our children. Don't violate our children. We know some of you people use our children to do acting in our community. We are pleading this afternoon that let's embrace, let's support, and let's allow our children to grow as children. We cannot do it alone. We need your care, we need your love, and we need your support. Just remember that word love and kindness, all right, for humanity.
All right, so how about you? Please give us a brief background of your organization.
Okay, the Childcare Protection Agency would have become established in the year of 2009 after Guyana would have signed on to the Rights of the Child Convention. So we were formed and became an agency so that we overlook to ensure that all the rights of the child are met in Guyana, within the confines of Guyana. So the agency came into being in 2009 due to that. Our main aim and mission and goal is to ensure that every child is protected and the best interest of every child is met, right? And that would also include if we need to do any placement or any removal or anything. This is where we collaborate with our non-governmental organizations and other organizations to ensure that these children's rights are being met and they're not violated, right? There are many programs. I don't know if you wish for me to get into that. Right? There are many programs right now that we have ongoing that seeks to ensure that our children are protected. We have the ChildLinK initiative, which is still ongoing, to ensure that children aren't on the street begging past a certain hour. The initiative was started by our minister. Once the ChildLinK goes on, children aren't supposed to be out. Right? We also have the hotline, which was launched by our minister. I believe it was last year or year before, the 914 hotline. Anybody can call that number. It's toll free to report whatever is going on in the area, in the community where children are concerned. It also they also take reports across the board: domestic violence reports, elderly abuse reports. All of those reports can be reported to our 914 hotline as well.
So, how do you ensure that migrant families are aware of and have access to services provided by your organization, Ms. Berbice?
The community, through sensitization and education, the community are aware that United Bricklayers is a non-governmental organization that represents migrants, ensure migrants get the correct documentation, migrants should not reintegrate into our government school, or and they're not being discriminated. We ensure the migrants able to access healthcare services and access all the services in and out of our region without any discrimination nor violation. Even to make a report at the central police station or any police station around the region, they're free to go and make the report and without being violated, discriminated. So the community are fully aware through education that United Bricklayers is the organization that works with migrants. Anything to add to that, you can speak to Ms. Griffith.
To add to what my colleague would have just shared, we have our stakeholders, where all our stakeholders are sensitized through awareness sessions, also through training sessions, so that they are aware how to treat the migrants, through education, through health, whatever services, and if the services is not available in Region 6, we have a referral pathway, or what we wish to link them to other services out of Region 6, which some of our services or service providers are like IOM, International Organization for Migrants, HIAS, we have ChildLinK, that also provides services for migrants, and one of the leading organizations that has been working and tackling migrants and migrants' rights, because as we know, migrants have their rights. So we have organizations just like United Bricklayers who is on board with us and our stakeholders, and community-based organization and our private partners who is on board to support the initiative of the migrants and migrants' family.
And to add to what Ms. Griffith said, we also ensure that our migrants get employment, which is a big thing for them, because we understand that Venezuela is under crisis. And so thank God for the vision and the initiative that ChildLinK could have brought on the table and able to get the EU government to fund it, where they see the needs of and the importance of working with migrants for over the past years. So I want to toodles to the ChildLinK family and the management of ChildLinK and the entire team for bringing on such an initiative. Working with the migrants for the past few years, it is not easy. Seeing their needs there, getting them employed. Yes, we know sometimes they've been violated by the employer, but they can report. So we were able to work with those migrants to eliminate some of those behavior when it comes to the employer.
How about your organization?
Well, given the fact that the Childcare and Protection Agency was formed and founded on the Rights of the Child Act, which is an international convention, we look out for all children when they're in the jurisdiction of Guyana. So all of our services that we offer to Guyanese children, we offer to migrants as well. They are not excluded from any of our services. If we need to investigate any allegations of abuse where migrants are concerned, we do that. If we need to find placement, if we need to help them get homes, if we need to help them and refer them out to counseling sessions, if we need to refer them to our, not sisters, but our helping partners in the school department, the Ministry of Education, Welfare Department, they're a great help in getting our migrant children into schools, and they also provide a certain amount of assistance and support with the children, especially where the language barrier is concerned. So we are happy with them for that assistance as well. And all services within the Ministry of Human Services is available to all persons who are within the jurisdiction of Guyana.
So, Ms. Barrows or Ms. Griffith, can you elaborate on any specialized training or cultural sensitivity programs your officers and staff undergo to effectively engage with migrant families, or the migrant population, I should say?
Presently, as late as last year, myself, Ms. Narifa Griffith, and other team member or team player, we had training from the University of Guyana to work in the community in emergency program. And presently now we're doing Spanish to better serve our migrants family in the community and in school. So presently now we're doing a migrant Spanish classes with the University of Guyana. Yes, our agency, Childcare and Protection Agency, and also the ChildLinK family, they would always provide us with training. You're never out of training.
And recently, on the 23rd of January, we would have had a collaborative training with migrants and all our international stakeholders in Georgetown, where migrants from different regions were able to come together, be in the same room and space, where they learned about other services and how they can access other services, especially like having to apply for their own house lot. And so there are always ongoing training where it comes to migrants, how to help migrants with our collaborative partners and stakeholders.
And to add to that, we never stop doing advocacy or lobbying for our migrants, and not only our migrants, any vulnerable individual that comes to us. Last month we finished restorative justice training. And we will be having a 10-day training coming up pretty soon with the juvenile justice. So training is always there. And then we must applaud also the government for providing the GOLD program, and it's under your institution, the human services, where a person who did not completed school or able to make it in school have the opportunity there to do reintegration of children and family, juvenile justice, you name it, all the different program management, you name it, a whole lot of programs, the early childhood, care for the elderly, the WIN program, and I'm saying to the community right now, this television program, people, you access those programs, it do work, especially for those 10-day staff or anybody. You could be over 50 years of age, you can still go study, and the beauty of it is online, and you study at your time when they get classes.
Yes.
So to the community,
programs and our WIN programs under the ministry are available to anyone, everyone, no matter your age, gender, race, whatever you want to call it. All of the programs are available to anyone.
And to add to that, Ms. Douglas, after the training under the WIN program, they find placement for you.
We do seek and ensure placement for our graduates after they would have successfully completed their programs.
So with the program, after you're able to be employed under the ministry or wherever there's a vacancy that you can fill with your experience and knowledge that you gain under the program. So with that, we see that the agency is working collaboratively to provide services to our migrants and local families in Guyana, because the program not just for local but for our migrants where they are also accessing those services. And today we see that migrants are being employed in every sector, whether it's ministry level or local level. They are employed and they are reaching out. And we are happy that they would have built trust in us working with them, working in the community, and even to the proprietors that look out for them. We should say thank you to them because they have their interests at heart. So I would like to say that I'm happy to work on the migrant project under the CRIE to provide the services on the United Bricklayers, where we would have able to change numerous lives of our migrants and local family.
All right, so what steps does your organization take to build trust and establish positive relationships with migrant communities?
Loyalty, integrity, and honesty. You got to be loyal. When you give person your word, you got to stand to your word. You cannot fall back on your word. And it calls for commitment, the passion. If you don't have the passion for the work that we do, don't do it. Because it costs a lot of dedication, it costs a lot of love, patience, you understand, kindness. And the fact that people can trust in you and put that confidence in you, and you don't break it, you go the extra mile for them, and you put a smile on the sad faces, and you can turn their life around. Teach them to fish and not fish for them. That's what makes your work pretty easy.
And trust building is a very key part in this work that we set out to do, because you can have the passion, but if you don't build the trust with someone, it doesn't make any sense. So trust building takes time within a client and the partner. Once that is established, you can do wonders, because when people put their trust in you, that alone speaks volumes. Right? So trust building, in no matter what you do, that is the key of the work that you set out to do.
Is that Liz?
I would reiterate what my colleagues here are saying. You have to have a certain amount of communication and be honest with your communication when you're dealing with these migrant families, especially because remember, they're in a new country. People they would have interacted with before might have abused them, might have used them, So they already come with a mistrust and a lack of understanding of Guyanese culture and what we do and how we operate here. So the key is to be honest with them about what is going on, what they're doing, what we do to help them, and that is the best way that you can get to build capacity with them in order to get their needs met and to ensure they're not being abused or violated.
And language barriers. Someone mentioned about language barriers earlier.
Yeah, the language barriers. We have ongoing training to assist us with the language barriers. We also have persons in the community who speak Spanish or any other language that offer their services to us, so that if we know somebody, we have their assistance if we need them to translate or so on. And we have the internet. You can just put on something on your phone and you have that communication with your clients and with the children to know what their needs are. Right now we have some children, they're receiving English classes, and in exchange these children start teaching the other children Spanish. So it's a circle, and at the end of the day we find ways around that so we can get that communication going to know where we need to assist and when we need to assist.
So
And that's the same for us, the same sentiment that Ms. Douglas said. I would elaborate on it. Yes, that is so true. And the beauty of it, a lot of our adult Spanish speaking person, they are also equipping themselves with the English. So sometimes it is easy for us in the field, especially when it comes to translation. But United Bricklayers have a translator.
Bilingual.
And that's and that's a plus for us. Yeah.
So, what resources or assistance do you provide to migrant families navigating legal or immigration-related challenges?
Most we focus on the documentation, the EB card, which is the card that they use to the entry, the entry document, because what you find sometimes some of the agency, I won't elaborate or call names, some of those agencies you would find violating them, like they don't have to pay for that. It is free at the immigration. Yeah. But what you find, in the system, everybody try to make a dollar for somebody. So what you find, they would pay $80,000, which you're not supposed to be paying for that, and they would collect a $5,000 receipt. And I'm so happy that who hearing on this television, if they're part of that arena, they can desist, because these migrants do report it. Be honest. As I talk about honesty, just be honest to yourself. You can assist these migrants with the documentation freely. There's no cost attached to the migrants' documentation. Please do it the right way. Because when we go to take a government job, we know our salary, we know the time we have to work, we know all the policies and the legislation and everything that goes with our contract or with our permanent admission to the company. So then don't break it. Don't try to make money off of people who are vulnerable in our community. Because remember, these persons work in Guyana and send their money back to Venezuela to assist with their family and also their children. You understand? So I'm pleading with those persons, please ensure that you assist with the documentation and not ripping these Venezuelans of the finance. So that's one of our main concerns. We do assist them, navigate them through with the documentation. And when we go to the navigation then with the documentation, we don't have to pay a blind cert. All we have to do is just find a passage from New Amsterdam to Georgetown and back.
Yes, in terms of the documentation of our migrants and so forth, we will mainly seek to have referrals done so that they can get to the services that they need to have their documents sorted out and ensure that everything is straight and legal there. If it is that we cannot assist in terms of our referral, or the referral that we give can't assist them, we would then give or try to make contact with another agency to ensure that we are giving or sending them to the correct place so that they can have their documents settled, sorted, and they not have that whole exploitation thing going on with them, because sometimes you will have to get on the phone to get to these people and find out, what is this? This person needs such and such. Do they need any monies? What is the fee to get this done? If there's a fee attached, and that is how we would be able to assist them so that they know, okay, you're leaving to go here to get this document. You don't have to pay this amount of money. They would freely give this to you. All you need, these are the documents that you need so that you can get what you need to get.
And to add to what my colleagues would have shared, we have under the education departments where migrant children are in school through the Ministry of Education. They also assist if they has to have their birth certificate, because most of the children that they come with their Spanish birth certificate. So you will have to, the Ministry of Education policy that no child left behind.
Right.
So whether the child have a birth certificate or not, or it is not translated into English, they are still admitted into schools. We also assist in providing psychosocial support and psychological support. If there's counseling, if there's healthcare services, we do navigation, we do referral, we do link to service. So there's a whole lot of services on the United Bricklayers with the program that is being provided. So migrants now, for the last 2 years, working with a number of migrants, they would have accessed all the services that would have provided, whether if it's education, healthcare, under the police, under immigration, and ED card is free. Yes, we know that they have person that is using or exploiting the migrants, but the ED card for migrants, they are free, and that they can be accessed to the immigration office in Georgia or the general post office. That's the two entities that provides the ED card for the migrants.
And in what ways does your organization collaborate with community-based organizations or advocacy groups that support migrants? I believe this question would be perfect for you. As Douglas.
Well, part of that is what we're doing right now. Right? As you see, we are 3 ladies here from 2 different organizations, and we know each other. Right? We know each other, what our portfolios are, right? So we collaborate well with each other, and we work together. If they have a case needs to be referred to us, we do what we need to do with that case. If we have a case that needs to be referred to them, we do that as well. If we need monitoring of children within our community, that we refer them out so that we can have that monitoring done to ensure that this child is safe, whether the child is a migrant or is not a migrant. We work well together. I would like to say we do work well together, and we ensure that children in this community, New Amsterdam, even the quarantine, in the region, we ensure that everybody gets, as much services and help as they need to get, especially when we know. One of the questions you asked before is about the steps. The first step for all of our work is persons in the community being aware. You be aware of what is supposed to be happening and what is not supposed to be happening. If a child, if anybody is being abused or any disadvantage is being taken off, the first step of anyone is to report it. Once you report it and we get to know what it is, we work with it, we find out what is going on, and we get the assistance to the family or the child that they need. But I would implore and I would like to encourage everyone out there to kindly, some people Guyanese have this habit, it's not me business. Me no, man, them people is there on their own thing. No. Once you realize that it is something that is not supposed to be going on and is affecting a family or a child especially, we encourage you to report it. You don't know what is going on. Maybe this child is maybe hours away from doing something to themselves. You call, you make a report, we investigate, and you can be saving a life. Right? Whether it is in local or if it's a migrant child as well, you never know. So my thing is encouraging persons to report. Let us know, call. You don't know where to call, you ask any carman on the road. And they're going to tell you where to go, who to think, and one number to give to you. Or a lot of people now love to, as I said, the internet is very versatile. You Google.
And adding to what Ms. Douglas is saying, all our stakeholders know where to, how to report a case, because that's one of the first things that in any training with stakeholders, if it's school, if it's private partners, the first thing that we do, we train is how you can report a case, where to report a case. If it's a case for the police, if it's a case for child protection, depends on the nature of the case. And numbers are, the 914 number are working. If you can't get the numbers, I know Child Protection Agency have their officers' numbers available. United Bricklayers have their numbers available. You can get on to any number, depends on the case and the nature of the case. And anything that is shared with an officer stays with the officer. If there is for share, confidentiality to share, then that take place with the consent of the client.
Yes.
So nothing doesn't go to Child Protection Agency from our agency without the client consent. And we are asking the public, don't, as my colleagues say, it takes a community to raise a child. And for that, it's all of our business to look out for our children. Don't say, pass and say, oh, it's not me business. If we kill, she should look for it. No, because if she died, then we are the one who is going to say we should have done something to help that child. Right? So it's our business to look out for any child. It doesn't have to be race. It doesn't have to be bloodline. But a child is a child and they have rights too. And I should encourage parents, listen to your children, listen to your child, form good communication with your child, build that bond with your child that your child can come to you and talk to you. Don't dismiss or dismay a child because you tell yourself that you're the parent and you knows it best. It's a bonding. Bonding with a child and parents is a two-way. One should listen, one communicate, and that is how we can able to know when our child is going the wrong way or and advise them down the right pathway.
Right. So, Ms. Barrows, can you provide some examples of successful initiatives or partnerships that you would have had to improve the safety and well-being of migrant communities?
For United Bricklayers and the team players from the Community Emergency Response, we were able to assist migrants with job employment. We were able to move migrants through referral to different agencies in our community. And we were able to have migrants from working at the supermarket into our healthcare services, because we have certified doctors are working with in our supermarket in the community. So when they're working with them and when they report to us that they have the qualification and they're certified doctors, we would go to the other agency and advocate and lobby and get the issue on the table, what is the position of this migrant, and get them, once the documentation, everything is okay, we get them into the healthcare system.
Ms. Douglas?
So we have a lot of success stories, working with migrants.
Okay. I in particular would have had two migrant families. I would have had to, well, this would be for this year. I can't really give a particular number for last year. But for this year, it would be 6 children in all. We would have had them access health services because they came with some, I don't know, kind of, blood, something, I don't know if it's whatever on the skin and stuff. We have that all cleared up now. They're enrolled into school, they're attending school. They have not quickly joined, but they have somehow begun to adjust, right? They have adequate adjustments to our culture and to our language. The language barrier has since been somewhat meshed because we can freely communicate now with them English, and they're teaching the other children Spanish. They've even started to try to teach me some Spanish. I'm grateful for that. But yes, we have successful stories. The parents now are working. They're working in companies that aren't discriminative towards them. And we're working with them so that we can try to have them get these children back and they remain in school. That is our aim right now, so them to find proper housing and so on, so we can have the children with them to properly attend school and not be discriminated against wherever they go.
Ms. Griffith, just before we wrap up, can you share with the public how can persons contact United Bricklayers for assistance?
Okay, we have our number, our landline number is 323-3322. Ms. Burrow's number is 696-9803, 651-7729. Our manager is 683-0283, and those are the numbers that you can get to them, and they will get on to other officers, depends on the nature of the case.
Ms. Douglas, how can persons contact our organization?
Well, we have the 914 hotline. They can call right there and they can ask any person who answers for any of our numbers and they will get it. You can also call our office number here for childcare would be 333-2689, and you can get on to us right there. We also have hotline, well, we would call it a hotline for the region, 623-1788. You can also get on to us on that number as well, and we would do our referrals and our investigations so that we can assist families and persons who need the assistance.
Alright, so is there anything else that anyone would like to add before we wrap things up?
I would like to say on behalf of United Bricklayers, the ChildLinK family, to all my co-workers, my colleagues, my manager who tediously work with us in and out of office. It's a work collaboratively that we would have done with our migrants and our local family. To our stakeholders, we could not have done this without the partnership that we would have over the years, and that would have started from since 2006, sorry. From then to now, we have a good partnership with all of our collaborative partners in Region 6, out of Region 6 internationally. So we would like to say thank you all for being a part of the United Bricklayers family and for the support that gives us, not forgetting the faith-based organization also, because they would have played a keen part also in helping us to get our work done. Police, the immigrations, all of them would have played a fantastic, and I would like to say that it hasn't been a time that you would have called on the stakeholders and they hadn't supported us. So it's a pleasure for us to say thank you on national television live program, that your effort and your input into migrants and local have paid off. We have come a far way and we look forward for the collaboration way forward.
Any final word?
I would just like to reiterate the fact that we are all a part of this community and we need to just look out for someone who might be vulnerable, who might be in a difficult situation, who might not really be aware that they are in a difficult situation or they're in an abusive situation. I mean, we tend not to want to say we care or we're responsible, but I would like to feel or think that as Guyanese, as human beings, what we would want for ourselves, we should want for somebody else. So I would just like to reiterate the persons out there, report, report, report. You never know if you are saving a life, if you are preventing something from happening to somebody. If it looks wrong, it more than likely is wrong. So please report and let us do what we are supposed to do in terms of helping these persons, in terms of making sure that every child, every family remains intact and are safe and protected at all times.
Alright, so you were watching Bridging Gaps and Building Bonds with Migrant Families here on LRTVS Channel 10, and that has brought us to the end of this afternoon's program. I want to say thank you to Ms. Griffith, Ms. Douglas, and Ms. Barrows for joining us this afternoon to bring to you this live broadcast. Thank you very much for joining.